Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Real Talk for Real Men. Hopefully, you are having a fantastic week. I am doing pretty good today on this Hump Day Wednesday, Cinco de Mayo. So, hopefully, everybody's doing fantastic. It's great to be back with you guys again today, and I'm looking forward to a fantastic conversation tonight. So, welcome. So, of course, tonight our topic we're going to be talking about dating without boundaries. Is it really possible? You guys know that on Real Talk for Real Men, our aim has always been from the very beginning to improve relations between men and women. And on this show, on this journey, we've all talked about, how difficult that is. Men being from Mars, women from Venus, dating ourselves, all of those things that come up. So tonight we're going to explore it in a little different way. And we're going to hopefully be talking about how we can take the boundaries away. As usual, let me bring in my co host before we get this thing cracking. So let's bring in Tasha. How are you doing this evening, Tasha?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing all right, sweetheart. Great to see your face. Thank you for being here tonight.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
ready for this?
Yeah, I am ready. Absolutely, always ready.
Fantastic, fantastic. Good to see you as always. And I welcome you guys that even on live. Feel free to comment. Don't forget to like a program. Invite some people to watch. We love guests. We love new people coming on board. And if you want to come on live, let me know. We can do that too. So I see Tevin's in the house, Tracy. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here. Hopefully got some new viewers in here. Let's start bringing in some of our panel. So we have tonight G. Paul in his vehicle. How's it going, G. Paul?
Good, my brother. How you?
All right, all right. Good to see you, man. I appreciate you
What's
for
up,
being able to
Dr.
take the
Mac?
time.
How you doing?
That's
Yeah, I'm
what's
doing
up.
good.
That's what's up. Appreciate you being here with us. We're looking forward to your comments tonight.
Definitely, definitely. I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Fantastic. As always, we got brother Kenny in the house. How you doing, Mr. Kenny?
Hey, what's going on, my beautiful black people? I love you to death, and I'm gonna
Same
love you
here, my
till you
brother.
die. What's
Same
going
here.
on?
Absolutely. We're doing pretty good. Good to see you. Thank you, my
Good to
brother, for being here as always. Thank
always,
you.
always.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good to see your face. I've got all the way from New York City. I got Miss Sherry sitting in the house. What's going on, sis?
Hi, brother. Hi, everybody.
All
Hey,
right. All
Sherry.
right. Good to see you, sis. How you doing this evening?
I'm good.
Fantastic. And we've got somebody has been missing for a while, Mr. Kennard. What's going on, sir? How are you?
What's going on, y'all? I'm glad to be back on, and I kind of like this topic: boundaries in relationships.
Yeah.
Woo!
Well, we gonna try to see as we explore this. Is you know how we do. Try to throw you for a little curve, but we're looking forward to having you on board. Hopefully, I'm gonna get a couple of more female voices to add to the conversation. So we always are on time, but we're gonna allow for CP time. I'm gonna allow about another couple of minutes, and then we're gonna get this thing kicked off. And I invite everybody to voice your opinions. As Kennard said, interesting topic. Interesting topic. So I know you guys may not know where I'm going with this, but I plan to have a little fun with this tonight. Absolutely. So Tevin, Tevin Morris Davis, good to see you. Appreciate you. And so I invite comments in as well. So as we're waiting for a couple of people to join, for anybody, what do you think about when you hear the term dating without boundaries? What does that signify to you? Anybody?
Well, without giving out all of the content that I want to give tonight, I think boundaries kind of set things up for dishonesty. To be honest with you guys, I think when people come in like, okay, I don't want to have sex until I get married. I don't want to do this until I get all these boundaries set the stage of a situation that could be disappointing in the end because people are not being their authentic selves. I think when
Oh,
there's a situation where people can be authentic and people can be themselves, I think both parties have the chance to make a choice, but I'm not going to give up everything right now.
okay. Very interesting take. We got Joseph joining
Uh,
us. What's going on, Joseph?
How's it going, everyone?
All right, good to see you, my brother. I want to take somebody else. When you
What's
hear the
up,
term,
Joseph? How's it going?
yes, sir. So when anybody else, when you hear the term dating without boundaries, what does that make you think of?
I think that what my family Kennard just said, he hit the nail on the head. I think a lot of times we don't introduce our true authentic self when it comes to the dating world. We put on a facade. We introduce the person that we think that other person is gonna be attracted to rather than being who we really are. So there is a lot of faking and shaking, if to put it mildly, when it comes to dating. No matter what the age group, no matter what it is, it's a bunch of putting on. So you really don't know who you really talking to until you really dig deeper. So yeah, man, you got to keep your antennas up because you really got to be on top of your game, and that's men and women.
Absolutely, absolutely. Very, very good points. Very good point. I
But,
want to get one last one from a female, Sherry or
but,
Tasha. What do you think?
but I wanted to say, isn't that normal? When you first get into a person, they meet your representative from the beginning anyway.
Right.
Very, very good point.
Exactly. Yeah,
Very
that's
good point.
true.
Very good point. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead on and get started. So for anybody joining in late, they'll have to kind of pick up. So notice that when I said dating without boundaries, I asked the question, is it really possible? Is it really possible to date where you let go of all of your boundaries? So I notice I've got most of the people on here is, oh my God, everybody is married except two of us. There's two single people on here.
I'm
That's
single.
not
I
a
can
bad
tell you that.
thing. That's not a bad
No,
thing.
no, Black, it's three.
It's
Me,
three of
you, and
us.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tasha. It's
okay.
three of us.
My mistake.
No,
My mistake.
no.
Okay, my mistake.
Oh,
Fantastic. So that's a good mix. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask a question, and it's okay even if you're married. I want to go around and I want to ask you that for now, if for whoever you're looking for, or even if you're married, what did you look for? I want you to describe the person that is your match. So, what are you attracted to? And I want you to be as specific as you can about describing what you're attracted to. So, if you're single, I want it to be like, what are you looking for? You know, if you had to lay out that right person, and if you're married and you got that person, what are those qualities and things that you were looking for? So I'm gonna do. I want anybody can start. What I want lay it out there for me. What you're looking for.
I'll start. Can you hear me?
We can hear you very well.
So when I was dating, and I got to the point where I wanted to be in something, long term and real. I was looking for somebody that would be a mother to my children, somebody that could get along with my friends and family, somebody
Okay.
that
Let me stop you. Let me stop you right there.
okay.
I want you to be specific about the person in terms of characteristics. What what that person looks like. What is it that attracted you to them?
But
What
physically, I've always my preference. Should I say I've attracted mostly light skinned women, light skinned and black women, uh, with a really nice shape, with a beautiful smile. So that was what I was looking. I mean, that's what I normally get attract. That I would always attract. And then my wife, she walks through the door, and there
light
she
skin?
was.
So I
Yeah,
want to break this down. Light skin, black woman, really nice shape. What do you consider a really nice shape?
she had a big booty, and she had some. I mean, she had big booty, so. Uh,
Okay.
and she wasn't overweight. But she was thick. I liked it like that.
Okay. Wrong. Wrong. All right. Somebody else.
okay.
Tell me what you're looking for, what attracts you. You're wrong, Jay. I'm gonna get back to you.
How
Tell me
you gonna
somebody
tell?
else.
How you gonna tell Jay? How you gonna tell Jay he
I'll
wrong?
go.
I'm waiting to hear. Kenny, I got
Wrong.
I'll go.
All right. Kenny, what are you looking for? Describe that person that you're looking for.
let me Let me go after Tasha. Tasha was ready to jump in. I'm gonna let
Okay,
Tasha go.
he's
That
volunteered
nigga gotta
you.
think about it, huh?
Okay, no, I'll go. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you.
Okay. Now, what I'm looking for is a straight male. Doesn't matter what color. I'm not hung up on that. I would prefer for him to be taller than me, but if he's shorter, that's okay as well. I do want him to be, he doesn't have to be like buff, but he does have to be somewhat physically fit, completely unattached, no children. If he's had a previous marriage before, that's okay. I'm looking for someone who's hardworking, honest, someone who is the opposite of me is what I'm looking for.
Whoa, you threw a lot of details in there.
Okay.
Straight. You said taller than you. So what height are we talking about?
Well, I just ain't got the longest legs. So anywhere between 5'9" and up is okay.
Okay. And you said, did you say buff body?
No, he doesn't have to be buff. He just, somewhat physically fit.
Okay. Okay. And what are some of the other characteristics in there?
The physical characteristics.
Uh-huh.
Oh, race, that doesn't matter to me. I would prefer if he had all of his appendages, all, 2 legs, 2 arms.
Okay.
I prefer that. That's what I prefer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice smile. I prefer all the teeth. Um, anything else is pretty like negotiable.
Okay. Wrong. You're so wrong. You're so wrong. And somebody else. I'll take 2 more.
Okay.
Kenny, I'm waiting on you.
Okay. I like a woman between the height of maybe 5'4" to 5'9", between a weight of 140 to 165, 170. Nice shape. Don't have to be really physically fit, but somewhat fit. Nice smile. Color doesn't matter. I like sisters. I mean, light skin, dark skin, brown skin, honey skin, whatever, because they all come in all flavors. So I like them
Okay.
all. 31 flavors, like
Okay.
Baskin Robbins. And she has to have a sense of that's my physical, but she has to have a sense of humor. And she has to be like my homie, my lover, my friend. That's what I am attracted to.
Okay. I like a lot of things you said there. You're the homie, love a friend, sense of humor. But you talked about, you got real specific on that body type. Now you don't care what complexion, but long as she's a sister, right?
Long as she's a sister,
Right.
yeah,
And
I'm
and,
good.
and what
Yeah.
kind of, you even got very specific on the height. Give us that height again.
I said, I mean, between 5'4" to 5'9". I mean, because I'm 6 foot. So if I'm with a sister by 5'10", 5'11", she put on some heels, she gonna be a
Oh
little
yeah, it's a
taller
wrap.
than me. So yeah, she gonna be feeling. I'm gonna be feeling some type of way. She probably won't, but I'm gonna be feeling
Okay.
some type of way. So I mean, between 5'4" to 5'9", that's a good measurement there.
And if you're looking at some of the comments, say Ada, she said that no one's talking about the emotional needs, and you didn't say that, but you talked about some of the other things. Kenny, you so wrong, man. You're so wrong in your description.
Kenny is never wrong. See,
Man, you are
yeah, yeah,
so
I'm
wrong in
never
your
wrong.
description.
What are you talking about,
I'm
Lee?
trying to tell you, even Brittany broke it out that you discriminating against us 5'1s. You leaving out
No,
5'1.
Brittany. No, Brittany. You put on some heels, you get up to 5'4", we all good. So we
I, 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 I'm trying to tell you.
Y'all
I
stupid.
think I
Come
think
on,
about
Joseph. You're gonna be my last one. Come on.
oh, I'm sorry.
Well, what I was looking for, first thing, I mean, as a grown ass adult, first thing I look for that attracts me to a person is teeth. If you have some fucked up teeth, we cannot even like you can't. How do you get past just that?
well,
Okay.
that's a
Now,
given, Joseph. We want everybody with
Okay.
good teeth, but go
once
Okay.
ahead.
Woo. Okay.
once I can get past that, it's more okay. Can I learn from this person? Can I spend the rest of my life with this person?
No. Okay. We got that. But Okay, just a big set of teeth. What else is about it? You don't want to. You're not gonna get a big set of pretty teeth.
Nah, one, don't no one want what they would call ugly person, so she has to be attractive to me.
Okay, now describe what attractive is to you. What's attractive?
Well, it's not just physical. That's the thing. It's more because what I might consider pretty, someone may be like, oh,
Right? No. So we're not gonna get existential. I'm talking about you.
About
So what
you.
is it that you find physically attractive? What does it for you? You got a wife, so something about her. It wasn't just a big set of teeth.
oh no. I mean, she's smart, she's funny.
No, but you didn't know none of that when you first seen her. When you
I
seen
mean,
her,
when I saw her, because we met in school.
okay.
So that was a plus to me, knowing that.
So
Okay, so
after you got through the teeth, what was it about her that you said, that's it? That's it.
he also wanted to being in school showed me that she's looking for a better future as well. So
I'm gonna stop you because I know where you're going with this, and you dodging my question. You are dodging my question.
It
Joseph is
sounds
trying
like
to be
Lee.
too deep.
It sounds like Lee is
Joseph
trying to
being
call
deep.
bullshit on this one.
I'm calling bullshit on all of you,
Yeah.
just so you know. Just so you know. Just so you know. Jen, what's going on? Comma say a big button, a smile, because we can sit here and wax philosophical all we want. Oh my God, after the fact. But a lot of you describe physical context. I want y'all to understand where I'm coming from. That in today's new dating arena, you are wrong.
Mhm.
To stand here and name all of these physical attributes, she got to have good teeth. She got to be a certain height. She got to have a big butt. Nobody mentioned breasts, but we talked a little bit about skin complexion, whether you liked it or not. She had to be a sister and things of that nature. Did you guys know that everything you are describing, that is dating bias?
That's
And
dating
it's
preference. That's preference.
Mm.
ah, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. So, what's the difference then between a preference, Kenny, and a bias? So, you jumped out there. So, why is it for you that that's a dating preference?
I mean, because I think that as human beings, we like what we like because what our eyes see, that's what we like. We've already made a mental list of what we are attracted to. So when your eyes see it, that's
And
what you're attracted to. So that's not a bias against anyone else because beauty, like we said, that old saying, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So
okay.
what beautiful to me may not be beautiful to the next man because I prefer what I described to you earlier. So I wouldn't consider it a bias. I would consider it a preference.
So, I
But
got
you
a
know,
question. Go ahead, King Hart.
I think in a way preference and bias kind of goes hand in hand because a lot of times that kind of held me back because in growing up I wanted the light skinned chick with the big booty and with all this other shit, but at times that wasn't always realistic. Even though that's what I thought I wanted, it wasn't always realistic. As I grew older and really started to like really get out of my own way when it came to my biases and preferences, I realized shit, I like the wide range of women. You know what I'm saying? I like the dark skinned women. I just don't like women of other races. It's nothing against them, but I'm just not attracted to them like that. But what I really found out was as I really started to broaden my perspective, that it made my dating experience a lot better when I opened my mind to, even though I thought I preferred light skinned women with glasses, with I don't like women with small lips. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like all of those different things, when you really start to open your horizons, I think we can kind of get to what Lee may be talking about is like what we might be shortchanging ourselves when it comes to just compartmentalize what you think you want versus the opportunities that are really out there.
Bingo. So, that's where I want to go. So, Kenny, how do you know then that these preferences, because you mentioned height and they got to be black, how do you know that you're not limiting to yourself in terms of steering your preferences, which might be inadvertently steeped in some racial biases, some physical biases, some mental biases
Ah,
away from
ah,
somebody? Because
ah.
okay, I'm gonna
You
use
slick.
Joseph as an example. No,
You
there you go,
slick. Yeah,
there
you
you
slick.
go,
I know where
there
you
you go,
go with
there
this.
you
You
go.
slick.
What's wrong with small lips?
Well, this man, thank you for asking that question. So that you say
I'm
that,
offended.
she literally, perfect segue, perfect segue. So the fact that this man got out there and he just stated with small lips. Now, if somebody's out there who has,
But
in
that's a
their
relative
opinion, some
term
big
though,
lips,
because
they've
small lips
just
come.
they've now just been eliminated on the basis of their lips. Joseph said that somebody with pretty teeth. I got big missing teeth, so by your standard, that the moment that a woman take a look at my fat monkey ass, I'm eliminated simply by the fact that I got missing teeth.
I,
Well,
There
you
within
just gotta
that.
half smile to not show that side tooth, and then you good.
But there you go. But so right off the bat, and according to these new standards out here, that we are allowing our internal preferences, believe it or not, psychologically to seep into and cross over to that area of bias. You
Yeah.
know,
you,
so we're gonna
you
talk
make
about
a
some of
very
these
good
biases.
point.
That's where I wanted to go with this. DJ's laughing, So let's talk about some of these biases because that's the name of the show. So we're going to talk about breaking down some of these boundaries. And what I want to find out is by the time we get to the end of this show, just how much your mind will have been opened up from where you start out. That's what we're going to talk about. So some of the obvious is body type. So look, we're all programmed to say we like a certain type or whatever body type, and it is based on visual acuity, whether somebody like an athletic body or, not too buff or things of that nature. But how many people out there are now marginalized by that whole body type thing? And so what we're seeing now is people talk about, let's use Lizzo, for example. This is somebody who's starting to change the narrative because when we look at body type, what's wrong with her? Even though she would be considered a larger woman. So
I,
how can you
I,
get? Go ahead, Kenny. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just gonna speak on Lizzo. Then I'm gonna let you have it. I don't have a problem with her body type, and I think it's dope that she's comfortable in her skin, and I respect that and I applaud that. But that's just not something I'm attracted to because of my body type. Because I'm not a big guy. So I would not be attracted to her because she's more of a bigger woman. So, but it's dope that she's cool in her skin, and I applaud that, and I support a woman to do that for sure.
So my question to you then, in reference to Lizzo, under what circumstances would you date a woman Lizzo size?
Nah, I ain't. That ain't my thing. I'm just gonna go and keep it funky. That, like I said, I mean, that ain't what I'm attracted to. Because
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean,
So
I'm more a fit type dude, so that ain't what I'm attracted to, and that's no
Okay.
disrespect to her at all.
So I'm gonna get you in a second, Kennard. So by saying that, and you saying so definitively, there are no circumstances whatsoever. She's got money. She to pretty face. I would say anyway. But under no circumstances, simply based on her body type, would you date her?
That pretty much be a no for me, bruh. I'm just gonna be, nah,
you know,
nah. It ain't happening over here. I'm just gonna be funky. Nope.
And we laughing, but
I
he is being
respect it. I respect it.
he's been very, very real. Tasha, let me throw you out here under the bus for a
Okay.
second. You say you don't have no racial preference or whatever. So how tall are you?
Oh, I am 5'6",
Five
but
six.
I'm 7 foot in my head, but I'm 5'6". Yeah.
Under what circumstances could you get serious in a serious relationship with a guy that's 4'7"?
Oh, 4'7".
I couldn't. Not that short. Jeez. Not that short.
Oh, why does your facial expression change?
I thought maybe you gonna say something like 5'1" or something. You went all the way to 4'7". No.
That's Bushwick Bill height. Peace be upon him.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's what I said, borderline midget or whatever. But if the person has everything else working for him, the nice guy, what if he's a handsome looking short brother, but he's just forced? That is the one thing that's standing in the way. So are you telling me that they're under no circumstances could you get past that height?
Not at 4'7". No.
Why?
No. I just wouldn't even be attracted. And I'll tell you this, you could be the nicest person in the world. I'm not gonna take you seriously in that sense. I'm not gonna be mean to you, but I'm not even gonna lead you on to make you think that it's ever gonna be anything, because I would be uncomfortable. I'm sorry, I'd be uncomfortable.
So
You know,
if you met a guy and you met him sitting down and you didn't actually know
Ooh, like
his height,
online.
and you started feeling emotionally connected to this guy, then you find out his height, you would just shut him down?
You can look at someone when they're sitting down and they're that short, you can tell his legs gonna be dangling. I'm be able to tell.
You might
Like,
not.
I ain't gonna make no emotional connection just that fast.
You might
He
not be
can't
in.
reach.
You might. He asked a great question, because you might not be in a situation where you can see his legs. Maybe if a friend could be introduced, and oh, Tasha, I want you to meet this person. That guy comes on the phone. You ain't seeing his legs. Y'all hit it off. Y'all have great conversation. Now you actually meet him, and he's 4'7".
It's we can be friends.
ooh,
That's
Tasha,
it. We can be friends.
Tasha, you better give it that window action. Get a sandwich, girl.
No,
So
ain't a ladder tall
that's
enough. No, thank you.
there you go.
I'm sorry. It may be mean, but no.
Kennard, go ahead. I know you've been waiting. Go ahead, my brother.
Well, I'm not trying to just jump on it, but I've been listening to all the comments, and then I think about, like, how many times have we been in relationships that we say that this person grew on me. I wasn't really attracted to him at first, but this person grew on me. He or she wasn't necessarily my type. He or she wasn't necessarily the type of person that I wanted to be with. How many people are married right now to people that when you really ask them at the core being of their being, is this the type of person that you are typically attracted to? I don't know the percentage. I'm not going to make up a percentage, but I would go out and say that it could be a higher percentage than we think of the people who are married or who are dating someone right now, that if you ask them at the core of their being, is this your type? On all levels, I don't think they could reach all of those levels. So when I thought about this whole thing with because I was actually kind of tired tonight. I was like, man, let me go on and get on it, because I can relate to this, because we date people all the time that when we're with them, they're like, that don't look like the type of person that you would be with. But there's some other type of connection, some other intangible connection that I can't put my hands on, but this is the way this person makes me feel. This is the way this person makes me think of myself, the way I can maneuver with this person, and that's why I'm with them. It's not necessarily because of the way they look, because they're my type, but this is the type of person that at this moment, because of what they brought to the table, is who I want to be with.
Right.
And I'll say I love that, and in theory that's great, but we're all human, and initially we have to catch each other's eye, through physically. So I mean, that sounds great, but that's how
you ain't gonna catch nobody's eye at 4'7". Y'all ain't even standing. You ain't gonna catch that eye.
Damn.
That's just not happening.
See, even in this conversation, I want you guys to hear yourself, because we've established right off the bat that whether we know it or not, there are some physical biases that we don't talk about that are heavily seeped into our psyche, and we probably haven't even thought about it. You know what I'm saying? Brittany says, "How offensive would it be if you so told you that you're not even their type?" You know what I'm saying? And so
that would be devastating. That would be
base,
devastating.
I would
Yeah.
care
there you
less.
go. Based on something as that they have no control over, the brother is 4'7". Lizzo is fat. I'm a fat man. At this stage, there's nothing we can do. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying we can't lose weight, but I'm saying at this point, to Brittany's point, that you know what, you might be a nice guy, you just too damn fat. And I'm just
Hmm.
not feeling you. You ain't even giving yourself a chance to get to know me. Jenny says, I don't know how many adults are really as shallow as we think we are. So she's agreeing with the points.
Yeah,
Tracy
we are
says that
shallow.
if I ain't proud to be seen in public with you. And so, Tracy, to your point, then, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes we think of how we look, but I want you to wear that shoe on your own foot. Now, somebody take a look at you and say, damn, you ain't fit to be,
Hmm.
be with me in public. These are some
Hmm.
physical things that I want you guys to start thinking about. We can stay on this all day. I want to move to another one. Let's talk about racial. Let's talk about racial biases, because several of you made it clear that for you it had to be a black woman. G. Paul, G. Paul, let's bring you back into the conversation. So
I'm
I'm
here.
gonna put you on. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Have you ever dated
Uh,
outside your race? You still with me?
yes, I dated outside my race. Yeah.
Okay, so you dated outside your race. Was what we talking about? White, Asian, Spanish?
Hispanic, white, um, never Oriental or Asian. No, so black, Hispanic, and white. Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm assuming DJ is coming. He said, if it ain't snowing, I ain't going. DJ, are you meaning that she has to be white? Because I want you to clarify that in your comments. But Jay,
He's such a
so
troll.
All
let's
right.
take somebody you dated that was white. So what attracted to you to that
Hmm.
person, even though she was white? Because your initial description was black.
Right. So yeah, the person that I dated actually had a black girl shake. Believe it or not. Um, and we just kind of. She actually chose me. She was. I was in college, and she was an instructor, and we kind of hit
Okay.
it off. And
Okay.
the rest is history. Yeah.
Yeah, but once we get past that, whether she chose you or not, I'm sure she didn't trip and fall on your dick, though, right?
I plead the fifth.
Okay. Somewhere in there, once you got past being chosen by her, what was it? So for you, was that she had a black body? What does that mean?
Well, no, I mean, so let me. I mean, I'm not that shallow. I mean, that's the physical side of it. You
Okay,
know,
okay.
I'm not that shallow. I've met a lot of women that have really nice shape, and then as soon as they open their mouth, I lose all
We
attraction.
ain't
So
gonna
it was
talk about.
more than that. It was a person.
Yeah, but that's why I was gonna bring you back to this. Too. We're not gonna talk about other ones. We're gonna talk about the ones that you got with. What was it? So, what was the black shape for you? That what was it that about her? She was white, but something
Right.
about her did it. So, what about her?
Yeah, it was mostly her personality. She was extremely intelligent. She was very fun. I just loved her personality. Um, so the initial attraction was quite naturally physical, but when we actually had some conversation and actually got a chance to go out, we actually had a lot in common. We would go
Okay,
catch a movie, we'll go out, we would go out, and have a drink. She would cook. I mean, she just had a really great conversation and a great personality.
you making it sound so
So
beautiful. You making all
I mean, it
you
really
making
was.
all it sound so beautiful. So, did you ever consider at all that you could marry a white woman?
Yes, hmm I sure did.
Okay, so for you,
We didn't
you
we
actually.
didn't work out. I mean, we
I'm listening. Go ahead.
I said we didn't work out because at the time I wasn't ready to settle down. I wasn't. I was in my prime, if you will. So I was just having fun. But so when I think about her in particular, I mean, it's for me, it wouldn't have been a big issue. So
Okay.
I'm fine. Yeah.
Okay.
So
So now you didn't
yeah,
describe that
but
at first,
at the
but
time
you
I
but
wasn't
but you're
cool with that.
saying that now. You're amending it now a little bit, saying that for you, race doesn't play a part in it for you.
Not honestly, no. I mean, it does to a certain extent because you always, I guess, in the back of your mind, you think, how well it used to be, not your friends and family would receive it, but that's not even an issue. My sister-in-law, she's white. My niece, she's half Hispanic. I don't see race like I used to when I was younger. I really don't.
Okay.
But so no, I'm good with it.
I love his
Yeah.
answer, and some of you know him, and some of you may not know him. By a show of hands in the camera, how many of you think that he's bullshitting?
I think
One,
he was skating.
two.
I think he was
Okay.
skating a little bit. I think he
I'm
was
just.
skating.
Yeah,
I think it was. I think he was skating a little bit.
yeah.
And nephew, I promise you, this is just an experiment, and this is about
And muscle
opening up
up
your
to you,
mind.
brother. Too. I'm
I
not.
know.
Yeah.
There you.
One of the reasons I like getting
Yeah.
one of the reasons I like getting on it is called Real Talk for Real Men. So definitely give it to me.
Yeah.
No chaser, no chaser.
Yeah.
There you
I
go.
can only speak my truth. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely. Now
you know,
I know you, so this is my nephew, so I
right,
actually can say whether I believe him or not. But I'm glad you, as you articulating it, I wanted to. So this is people who may not know you, and as you articulating it, I'm glad because I want you to see how it comes across.
right.
Minari said, "Keep it real, homie." So you keeping it real. Let me bring
Nephew,
Candace on this conversation. Let me bring Candace on
I
this
love
conversation.
coaching.
My little cousin. What's up? What's up, with little cousin?
Let's bring little cousin in here. Now, I happen to know little cousin, who I got to know very well over this year. They don't come no more pro-black than this young lady right here. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
So, for you, under what circumstances could you be serious, marry a white man?
Prior to marrying my first husband, I was open to marrying a white man. After we got divorced, no. My first husband was Indian and black, but Caribbean. So he
Mm,
wasn't African American. And even though he considered himself pro-black, he was very biased in his views against African Americans, and I didn't have time to sit there and explain things.
okay.
And so, as I got older, I just didn't have the patience. Now, I'm attracted to white men, yes, but for
Okay.
them understanding my culture, I'm not a teacher. I just can't do it. So
Okay.
I could before, but not anymore.
Okay. So, but now to your point, in your history, there has been interracial dating, and even now, you still find white men attractive. Now, you missed the first part of it about the physical attractive parts of it, and we're not going to backtrack on those. But I wanted you guys to see, as the more we talk about this, how you're seeing though that how those biases can seep in, even as hard as we might try, they're still there. They're still there, and even the racial biases. But I want to talk about one now because I'm really getting ready to bust this door wide open. The show is called Dating Without Boundaries. So I got a question for the panel. How much does gender matter? How much does gender matter?
A
It
whole lot.
matters.
Huh?
It
Hold on.
matters.
Hold
It
on. Hold on.
matters.
So I want to go to. Let's bring somebody new in here. Hannah, you spoke up. Hannah,
Yes.
attractive woman. Under what circumstances could you date a woman?
Near nada.
Why?
Not one. I don't do females. I don't like. Oh, what time is this? Before 8. I don't like vagina. I'm okay with that. I like penis. I will. I mean, some pretty women out here. I won't say that because I mean Rihanna's bad as hell. But I don't do women. It's never been my preference. Whoever does it, that's to each his own. I never looked at a woman and was like, "Ooh, let me get with her." Which is weird because I had women that tried to come on to me, and I never gave out a vibe that I wanted a woman like at all. I'm okay with just wanting a man, and there is no circumstance. I don't think I can even ever do a threesome because there's no way I'm being with the woman intimate. Like that's just not my thing.
I'm I thank you for you, and I actually believe you. But I like the fact that you throw in there how Brianna is sexy.
I
So
mean, she is bad. That might be my,
okay.
my.
Ah, she walked into the world that I was hoping she would walk into. So, are you saying then that under any normal circumstances, absolutely not? But you know what? If it was Rihanna, because now if you found yourself in a situation where Rihanna wanted to get down with you, are you turning that down?
If Bert was there, I would. But by myself, no.
Oh, you ain't got to turn down when I'm there. I'll jump in.
boy, boy, brother. Hey, my brother Bert
Not you
spoke up
gonna
real
jump
quick
in.
then.
Already
Shaq.
going.
If it was like a threesome, yes. By myself, no.
Panel, once again, by a show of hands, how many of us are calling bullshit on that answer?
I'm calling bullshit. I think you give it up to her, Hannah.
I,
No.
I
I
think
With a
still
she,
little
need
I
bit of
think
penis.
fight
she,
at first.
I think
Use
she
my language,
dropping like
please.
it's hot.
I
I
still
think
need
she
penis in
dropping
the
like
play.
it's hot.
Baby, I promise you, I get it. Somebody saying, "Hey, this is Atlanta," is scaring me. Brittany saying, "Ain't no scissoring, eating
What's
none of that."
scissoring?
I know that's right.
Where you,
Absolutely not. I'm not scissoring.
yeah, where you kind of take your legs, the woman's legs, and y'all kind of
Yeah, kind
bump
of. Yeah, y'all
uglies
do
or
this.
whatever.
Yeah, y'all
You,
bump.
you
Yeah,
know,
y'all bumping y'all. Yeah, yeah.
Thank
you
you
That's
for
get
the
what I'm
exactly
saying?
visuals.
what it
Thank
is.
you.
Uh, 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 uh,
I need this, not this.
I'm sorry, Joseph, your wife had something to say.
I said it's like buying a toy when I have all the accessories.
Wow.
Well, I didn't hear her.
She says like buying a toy without having all the accessories. So for you, they got to have that thing.
Well, I think I agree with what she had said. Like I have a lot of females approach me and trying to convert me and all that stuff. But I think energetically, like male and female, we balance each other out. I think it's more. I think there is a physical aspect to it. Like I don't think a woman can satisfy me energetically or physically like a man can. If
Okay.
that's choosing, so be it. That might be, what you like, and more power to you. But for me, my personal preference, I need the whole package. There's no way. No, I need it.
What do you say to the argument that would be made by women? I wish I had one person on this panel that could make this argument in person. And I ain't gonna put on the spot, but what do you say to the argument that women will say that you said, and if harmony can't satisfy you? Women would make the argument that since they have the part, that they actually can satisfy you better than a man.
No, because it's. I think the misconception is, I think people think that sex is just physical. No, it's energetically. There's a lot of levels to it, and I don't think that you could achieve it. Me, in my personal experience, I don't think I could achieve it with another female energy. I mean,
Okay.
you can have all the tricks of the trade. I mean, I know my body just as well as the next one. So I just energetically, I need that alpha. I'm sorry, I need someone to put me in my place,
I,
and another female.
I'm loving your answer, but by how many women have crossed over into that other forbidden zone? They must be doing something right, because there are many women who start out with that same mindset, and lo and behold, once they cross over, sometimes they don't never come back to that side.
They
You
might
know.
have already been on that side.
Okay, so let me tell a story, and then I want to go to a guy. So let me tell a story. One of my specialties back in my good old days was I used to actually specialize in getting women to explore that other side. You know, oh, absolutely. You invite them over to the house. You got the lighting just right. Sometimes all it takes is a little bit of a drink, because that liquid courage is something else. It gives women plausible deniability.
As I sip, you say
Here, baby, here,
that.
baby, here, baby, drink this. And one of my specialties back in the day, Johnny Gill, track number 6. Lord, 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 it had quite a few women crossover, and you can't go wrong with R. Kelly. I don't see
I don't
nothing wrong with a little bit of bump and grind.
A part of
And,
that was
and, and,
already in them.
and for you, these are women that up to that point that had never had an experience with a woman, and here we are several hours later. Not only was some scissoring going on, I sat back and watched the show. I sat back and watched the show, and the trick, people, was to basically let them know that it's just sex. And I'm so glad Joseph's wife said that it's just sex.
Mm-mm.
You know,
can I say this?
so once I'm gonna get you. So once you remove the gender out of it, it's just sex and makes you feel good. So
How's it?
does hold on, Candace? So does it really matter? You know, whose head is down there doing what, and
Yeah.
those lighter, softer fingers doing what? Does it really matter?
A finger is not gonna get me off. I need a dick. I'm
I,
sorry.
I'm feeling you. I'm feeling. I'm
So
just saying.
I'm
Well,
gonna be pissed off if I get all worked up and this woman all yes, I'm gonna
I'm
be like, "Where's the dick?" And don't give me no strap on either.
I'm
So that's
I'm loving this energy, and I'll say again, and that's but it's
You
amazing
know,
how so
Oh
many
my
people
God, no.
have crossed on the other side. Hold on, but you
Ooh.
women are fired up. Hold on. Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
we might be nasty, minority.
Not nasty. This is PG
We might be
13.
nasty. Kenny, my brother, Kenny, my brother, I'm gonna pick on you.
What the- why you gonna pick on me after my cousin talking about she needs some D?
Like,
I'll pick on you, Kenny. You're a single brother. You live in Dallas. Have you ever been
Yeah.
approached by a guy?
I don't no. No, I don't. Hell, if I did, I didn't know it, but no.
they don't know it. And I wanted to answer
No,
that. I wanted to answer that.
no.
I saw a comment, Lee, where they said, "What vibe are you putting out?" Sometimes people just like to try you. You don't have to put out nothing. I've been tried so many times by women. It's ridiculous. I went to DC a month ago, and these girls let me cross the street talking about I want to see a thick girl walk in front of me. I wasn't putting out no vibe. They just try you.
Which to her point, Kenny. So you saying in all of your years, you've never been hit on by a man?
Not me picking up on it. He was hitting on me. No.
Okay.
No, I can't say that I have been. That
Okay.
I recall.
Bird.
And if I was, oh, believe me, he would have known that I don't rock like that, because I would have made that known straight up. Nah,
Okay.
I don't rock
Bert,
like that.
Kennard, G. Paul, Joseph. I just want to take a quick little
I'm
poll.
gonna tell you,
Have you
when I was
guys ever
working,
have you guys ever been hit on by a guy?
Yep.
Yeah.
when I was working at this place in Opelika, yeah, I was. I mean, that was back in the day when I was, I was in the fraternity. I was a Kappa. I dressed like a pretty boy, and a lot of times people got the wrong impression by that shit. And this guy was like really adamant about this thing. Like he would come to my cubicle and talking all this other stuff. One day, because I've never been homophobic, you know what I'm saying? Because under no circumstances was I gonna do some bullshit like that anyway. But after he kept being persistent, one day I showed him some pictures that I had on my phone of some women. And he was like, I don't want to see that, and all this other stuff. And the guy was actually cool, but I did get an understanding of the fact that it wasn't that he thought that I would do that. Maybe he was just attracted to, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though that sounds nasty as fuck, but I don't think he thought that I was gay. I thought he thought that I was somebody that he just wanted to talk to and see if I was gonna bite. Because a lot of guys that doesn't appear to be gay, they wound up biting. And he
Okay.
probably had experienced that before, where he had a football player or somebody like that he approached to be
Okay.
like, oh hell yeah, I'm down with this shit.
Now you said
But I wasn't.
now you say it's nasty as fuck, and this and that, but you also said you're not homophobic, right? Kenny?
Right. That means
Kennard?
I don't have a problem with people feeling that way, but I know where I stand though. And when I said it was nasty as fuck, the guy said that based on the pictures of the women that I showed him.
Okay. So for you then, what's so nasty about a guy being with you?
Well, for one, it's not necessarily, you know, I think
Don't frown, Kenny. Don't frown up,
no,
Kenny.
I'm not that.
Oh,
No,
my
here's the
bad. I'm
thing.
sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
Sorry, I'm gonna stop this too.
Here's the thing.
We're still listening, Kennard.
Yeah, here's the thing. For one, I'm absolutely not attracted to a man on any level. Whether it's nasty as fuck, I would never experience it anyway. So it doesn't matter if it's nasty or not. But when like I told you before, because I think we're flipping this thing to hearing what we want to hear. I said that he said that it was nasty based on what he saw of the pictures of the women in my phone. Because he's
Okay,
gay,
so
he's
I
not
clearly
attracted to seeing
misunderstood.
nigga.
I did misunderstand. So, do you find two men having sex? Do you find it nasty?
You know, I think for me it's unnatural. Whether it's
Okay.
nasty or not is not, because here's the thing, you gotta taste something for it to be nasty. And I'm never gonna taste that anyway, so I don't know if it's nasty or not, and I will never know.
So
That's a good point.
let me, the same way I threw the argument out that women would say, let me throw that argument out. If you've never tried it, how do you know you won't like it?
For me,
here's the thing.
No. Let him answer.
No, here's the thing. I know that a piece of shit smells bad. So if something smells bad, usually it'll taste bad. So I'm not gonna try a piece of shit knowing that it smells bad. I don't want to experience it. I don't want to give it a chance. If drinking piss smells bad, if piss smells bad, I'm not gonna take the chance of drinking it because the smell is enough for me.
How
to
would
say,
you
no,
know?
I don't want to fuck with it.
Under your logic, at one point you had never tasted a steak, but at some point, somebody made you a steak, and oh my god, and oh my god,
on it tonight.
Because there's many things that we haven't tried, you know, and that could be octopus and chocolate covered ants, you know, and you go in a restaurant now, people order calamari. Hold on for a second. But based on your logic, you said you haven't tried it. So at some point you decide to try it. So where is that spirit of adventure when it comes to, hey, let me see what it might be like to kind of get with a guy?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, Lee. As a man myself, I knew at an early age that I was attracted to women. There was never a question. There was never a, well, let me see what it might be like to maybe feel on one of my teammates' ass or some bullshit like that, or
That's
what
right.
it may be like to, no, and that's not to say that that's bad for the people that like it, but a steak, eating frog legs or eating an alligator's ass or some shit like that is not equivalent to saying, you know what, for me, I like women. You know what I'm saying? I like women, and I don't see where
I was there in the
the idea of being me being in a point to where I have the blatant dislike or even disgust at the idea of being with another man. Is just there. I'm not doing it. I don't give a fuck what you say.
Kennard, just stop.
Doesn't the desire have to exist at first? Doesn't the curiosity have to be there as well?
It ain't no curiosity. It ain't none of
In
that
order
shit.
for
It's not fucking happening.
Right. So that's what I'm directing it to Black. I'm asking him doesn't that have to exist first? A desire or a curiosity? I mean, I've never been shot, but my God, I know it hurts. So
perfect question. And so I want to back off of this because I can see how intense it's getting. And for all of the comments out there, whether we should try coke, meth,
minority
Xanax,
investor,
or
we've
whatever,
already done those things.
suicide or things like that. But even then, so no, that to me,
you can't try suicide. It is what it is.
Bingo. So stop right there. So that's why. So in reality, those comments they don't apply because we know you know now we have to use reason. We're talking about something that could kill you. But let's be honest now. If you bend over and take it up the ass, you're not gonna die. You know, you might just
You
like it.
could. No, you
Might
could.
you might just like it. And I know I'm going far fetched with this, and I'm looking at your facial expressions and things because if look on your face and Kenny's frowning up and Terry's already ready to rescind Kenny's invitation to his place if he like it and this
Hey,
that.
yeah,
You
hey,
see what I'm saying?
Terry tripping. He already
That's
know.
the
Oh,
point.
my bad. Go
That's
ahead.
the point that I'm proving. That you see how serious it got on a whole nother level when we start talking about sexuality.
Okay, baby.
But you know, and to piggyback, you saw how serious it got when it was you questioned the men. With the women,
Yes,
it was totally
yes,
different. It's looked at
yes,
different when it's women,
yes,
lesbian. It's totally
yes,
looked different. It's not really
yes,
frowned upon as
yes,
much as when it's
yes, yes.
homosexuality with men.
Yes, and so you lead into my next point, Kenny. Oh man, like I say, you guys sometimes y'all just walk where I need y'all to be, because sexuality is that last closed door. And Kenny, you nailed it on the head. So I want to ask a question. We got a nice mix on here, guys. Why do you think for us as men, especially African American men, that when it comes to something like homosexuality? Why is it for us as black men that that door is closed? Lock that bitch up, put a big double padlock on it. I ain't walking through it. Bert, we haven't heard from you yet, my brother. Why is that door closed all the way and don't even open that one?
All right. Tell you the truth, man. Some of it is because of our belief. Some of it is because of how the way we was raised, church, whatever the case might be. A lot of times too, it's because it might show like a sign of weakness. Because if you homosexual, that means that you weak. You acting like a chick. It might call you a bitch, something like that. So I mean, at the end of the day, that's the reason why that's so taboo. But
Right,
for me, I mean, you are what you are. You be what you be. You know what I'm saying? I've been friends with homosexual. I have boys who brothers are homosexual. I can walk down the street. I don't really give two shits. If you like it in the ass, you like it in the ass. It's not for me. I don't give a damn. You know what I mean? I don't want no dick in my mouth, no dick in my ass, and my dick ain't going nobody else's ass or
woo,
mouth. That's the same
woo.
offender as me.
Oh,
That's just not my
clutch my
preference.
pearls. He went and my God, so he went all the way there in
Well, damn,
so many
sir.
different ways. Exactly. And so I want to read a couple of comments
Jesus.
on that because it shows you how serious it is, especially with black men. Now, Comma Dizzy, you said you like lesbians, you know, and so now, so
What?
technically, then you crossing over and you engaging in some gay sex, believe it or not, you know.
Facts.
Terry, you say why should that door be opened? You know, as Candace said, that is that threatening to your masculinity that you want to leave that door closed? What are you so threatened about that leaving that door closed that you know what I'm saying that you don't even want to open the door? You
Well,
know, there's a saying, he that doth protest too much. Maybe there's something behind that, the protesting. And again, I'm raising questions, you guys need to understand something that other side is raising. I want you to understand for the record, this I'm asking questions that based on the new dating standards, that's what they're asking out there. Is because all of the arguments we're putting up, whether it's religious arguments, we're being told now that throw that out the window because that doesn't apply anymore.
It does.
And then as Kenny aptly brought out that it's so much more threatening for men than it seems to be for women. And so, Sherry, hadn't heard you in terms of comment, you know, why do you think women seem to be, I don't know, seem to be a little more open to the possibility of being with a woman, being with the same sex versus men? Why do you think that's the case?
I really don't know because I ain't with that gay shit. I punch them in their face, and they have came at me, but
That's
maybe
not the question, but that's not the question, whether you would punch them in the face or not. Why do you think women Why do you think women are a little bit more open? Because I'm gonna throw it at you the same way with Minority Report. Why does that elicit violence? What are you so threatened about that a woman might be attracted to you? Why does that threaten you?
No, I'm not threatened that they'll be attracted to me or nothing like that. I told you I have had that situation. Remember, I had a beauty shop. The girl used to
Okay.
come all the time. She was gay. She used to say, "Oh, if I was gonna be mad, I would like Sherry." And I told her, "Listen, check this out. If we gonna be friends and you want to be cool, don't ever say that." But the reason why I'm not threatened by her, but I think people say lesbian and stuff is more comfortable because there's no penetration. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much or whatever. But to me,
So you think women, because there's no penetration, they might be a little bit more open to it?
that's what some women, yeah, do. But me personally, the same thing a woman can do for me, a man can do that.
Okay. Jay, I saw you mouthing something. Come on, you're on mute, my brother. You're on mute. What you have to
Um,
say?
no, just talking with Derek, just kind of listen to the conversation. And I don't really know why. The only thing I can say when it comes to women, women are just they're a lot more curious when it comes to their body and things of that nature. And us guys, either we like it or we don't, and we ain't budget in most cases.
Yes, sir.
No,
So
that ain't
Say something.
I also think
Oh, ho. Not everybody wants.
nephew.
Not,
That is not true.
well,
okay, because I was gonna ask that question. So go ahead, Sherry. Why you say that's not true?
No, you talking about women would be a little more open. No, we not. I just told you, nephew. You
but
know I with that
but
type of stuff.
you're talking about your personal experience, but you're looking at
Correct.
women at large.
Correct.
I mean,
Correct.
the numbers speak for themselves.
well,
Yeah.
it could also be at one point in America, women outnumber one.
Right.
So there were more women at one point than there was men.
Okay. It still is. So for you, Joseph, I'm coming to you next, Hannah. So it comes down to maybe parts of it is availability. As a man, we're already outnumbered. So you take a city like I live in, Atlanta, where women outnumber men probably 4-1. So the pool is just simply bigger. So, like Jay said, there is something out there it seems to make women be a little bit more open to trying it, except I'm gonna challenge that in a second too. But go ahead, Hannah.
I was want to say this. Can I? We still PG?
No,
Yeah, we beyond
Okay,
that.
okay. I was about to say this. Women are nasty. Not talking about the women on here. I don't know how men eat pussy. But I have been in the bathroom at work with professional women, and they need water. So I don't understand how women can be attracted because women are nasty. And I'm not talking about women I know. I'm talking about professional suits, perfume, red bottoms, everything. And then you go in the bathroom and you go in after them and they smell like they haven't had water since they was birthed in it. Like it's just so trifling. And I'm trying to figure out, I know and we all have our preferences. There's no way in hell I can go down on a woman because I don't feel like women are clean enough. Like I have friends who told me that they don't take baths or they shouldn't dish because that's not good for you. No, you need to get in there because a shower don't get up in there.
okay,
You got to get up in there.
okay,
And I feel like some women can be very nasty. And I mean, y'all men, that's y'all attractive. Of course, I mean, I'm happy, y'all like us. But I feel like I couldn't do it because I feel like some women aren't clean enough.
okay. Well, you definitely got my vote when it comes to hygiene. I'm doing a show on that actually tomorrow. We're gonna talk about hygiene. Me and Tasha, because the standards they have changed absolutely. But to your point though, so if you came across a really clean woman, I
Mm-mm.
mean, who kept her body up like you and smelled good and nice, does that change things?
I don't care if she worked for the
I'm
CDC.
just asking.
I can't do fish. Excuse me.
I'm,
It's my preference. I've never looked at a woman like, I mean, I'm be honest. I love the penis. I think it's beautiful. I think that's the best thing that we have had. You can do so much with it. If you're blessed, if you have it, even if you don't, you can work with it. I just feel like dick is a beautiful thing, point blank and period. That's just my preference. I think a lot of people feel as though you can't have a preference. You can like who you like, but there's nothing about a woman that I would be like, you know what, let me get with you. It's just I've always been attracted to
I got
women.
you. I
Not
got
me.
you.
And first of all, I'm a PK, so I wasn't even
I
raised
got
to
you.
be with the woman.
I got you.
So
Well, again, I can revert back to my past. Many of the ones I turned, they were highly steeped in PK lifestyle as well. In fact, my experience has been they were easy to turn. You flip a little Bible verse on them, and they pretty much were going too. But that's been my experience. But we're gonna move on from that. But I hear you, sweetheart. But I want to highlight Brittany's point, and she said it early in another point, how lesbianism is glamorized. Brittany says women are emotional and often find it easier to emotionally connect to other women, especially after a series of bad relationships with men. And so I agree with you 1000% on both statements you made, Brittany, that how lesbianism has been depicted, it is depicted, in a more palatable way. It makes a difference that when we turn on TV for the last 10 years, we've seen Ellen DeGeneres host her show, even go back until the early 90s when Oprah Winfrey and different shows, they softened lesbianism. Only now, I would say probably within the last maybe 5 to 7 years, have we started to see homosexuality between two men become more mainstream. And so, especially for African Americans, somebody put it up before that for us, it's a challenge to our manhood, things of that nature. So, again, I'm raising all these questions not to challenge you personally, but to let you understand that this is the new arena we're in when it comes to dating and no boundaries. And there's one last one, because so far we've been talking about the same sex, but we haven't even got to the other types of sexuality. How many different types of sexuality do you guys think there are?
I don't know.
It's a lot.
Just take a quick guess.
10,
I would say 7 or 8.
10.
10.
I need to be enlightened. I thought it was just 2.
Woo!
At least 10.
I'm being honest.
At least 10.
At least
Yeah,
10.
I think it's like 10 or something.
Because you got bestiality, all of that.
Oh yeah.
Right. You got all this craziness out of there. I'd
So,
say at least 10 and maybe more.
so I found an article that literally lists 46
Damn.
different types of sexuality.
46.
Wow.
46.
Is this in other countries?
No. This is just normal stuff. And it's 46 terms that describe sexual attraction, behavior, and orientation. Now, for the sake of our conversation, we only going to focus on a few of the big ones that stand out, but I'm just going to read through a couple of them real quickly. Asexuality. That's somebody whose sexual identity orientation includes individuals who do not experience sexual attraction to others of any gender. Now, how that works? Don't get me started.
Right.
Now we all know about. I'm gonna save that one. What about
Wait, what was it?
autosexuals?
Where you
Attracted
just
to a car?
automatically
I'm
sexual.
about to say what?
Attracted to sound. Attracted to sound.
This list is so ridiculous. Again, I want to read through a few of them.
Can you tell us what autosexual is?
A person who's sexually attracted to themselves. Someone's desire to engage in sexual behavior, such as masturbation, doesn't determine whether they're autosexual. So you got some people that they only want to have sex with themselves. Now we know bisexual. We know what that is. But bicurious also is classified as a different level of sexuality. So you guys know what bicurious is, right?
Yeah, but what's the distinction? I gotta know. What's
the distinction? Yeah, between that and bisexual.
Bisexual, a sexual orientation that describes those who experience sexual, romantic, or emotional attractions to people of more than one gender. Bicurious refers to people who are questioning or exploring bisexuality, which typically includes curiosity about one's romantic or sexual attraction to people of the same or different genders.
So they haven't
So by
acted
curious, they not having sex. Then by curious, they have acted on.
No, it doesn't specify whether they acted on it or not.
Decided whether or not they are bisexual.
Ah, there you go. So whether you act on it or not, the fact that you are curious about it, so you get to say, I'm not bisexual. I'm
Bi-
just vicarious.
So Tank.
No, no, it means that
Because
they're
bi means
Not, yeah, that
I don't understand why that needs a certain another. I don't understand why that needs another level. Why can't you just deal with those in your own head? Why does that need another level?
exactly. And it,
You're driving to the point that I'm going to
why
get to
if you're
when we get
curious,
to all
shouldn't you
this,
just go
that
ahead and do it?
sexuality is so complicated. And again, they listed things as whoa, I went through my list too quickly. They listed things as allosexual. I'm not going to read all of these, folks. If you want, I will post this article: allosexuality,
Please.
biromantic, closeted, hupiosexual
Who?
describes asexual people who don't experience sexual attraction but still have the desire to engage in sexual behavior or sexual relationship. Now, if that ain't confusing, I don't know
You're a
what
serial
is.
I thought
killers
that was just a virgin. I thought that's what that was. Is that not a virgin?
or serial killers?
What
Serial.
about demisexual? Anybody heard the term demisexual?
I've heard that. I'm not clear on what that is, but I have heard that.
Are you with aliens? That's
Uh,
like, what
this is on the asexual spectrum. This sexual orientation describes individuals who experience sexual attraction only under specific circumstances, such as building a romantic or emotional relationship with the person.
Ain't that everybody?
I thought that was
Right,
dating.
right.
Shit,
That's
I'm
that's
wrong on
dating, isn't it?
everything.
Marriage is
Everything
dating.
y'all saying, so what about somebody who's fluid? I know you've heard that term.
Yeah.
No, I never heard of that.
Don't
Yeah.
they go like they can be anything? Like they
Different time.
identify as
So
anything, just
don't have
whatever they're around or however they feel. I don't know, something like that. Ain't that
This
it?
term refers
yeah.
to the fact that
Nasty.
sexuality, sexual attraction, and sexual behavior can change over time and be dependent on the situation.
What?
Yeah.
So
That's
can
that.
a cloud?
You feel at
Shit.
the time you want.
I don't
I,
understand.
I actually have a individual that I work with. They say they're fluid, meaning
All
that
right,
they're not.
go ahead, Derek.
They're.
Yeah, go ahead, Derek.
So I have this guy that I work with, and he was telling us he was fluid. And I said, "What does that mean?" He says that it depends on the situation or the person that he's
Correct,
attracted to at that time.
correct,
That he could be attracted to a woman today, a man
correct,
tomorrow.
correct.
both.
What makes that different from
Yeah,
bisexual? Does that matter if
bisexual.
they're
Yeah.
Yeah,
around
that
pedophiles?
is.
Does that make
Yeah,
them
but
attracted to children? I gotta know.
I thought that was the same thing, but he said it's different.
It is not. Thank you for bringing that up, Derek. Because and the reason why I'm bringing this out to you guys is when you see those letters out there, the LGBTQIA, and they added a plus, at the end. I don't know if you guys have noticed that.
Like a
Yeah.
They've added a L. I'm trying to get them all in. LGBTQIA,
WXYZ.
and there's a plus at the end.
like
And
a premium
sometimes why?
subscription.
see, y'all ain't right. Y'all ain't right.
And sometimes why?
Well, no,
Y'all ain't right.
What is all
y'all,
this?
they not.
Hey, but I did ask that question that
Go ahead.
Tasha asked. I said I thought it was the same, and he was trying to explain it to me, and I even got confused what he was telling me because I'm like, that's the same to me, but he said no. He said
It
it's
is.
not. He said
It's
I'm not
not.
curious.
It
He
is.
said I'm not curious at all. He said I like women today. I like women tomorrow. On this day, it's not. I'm not confused. Is that I like what I like on this day.
For anything.
You're right. He's not he's a freak.
He just a confused mother sucker. You don't know
No,
that.
no, and I know we can laugh about this, but for them, this is very, very serious, and that's why I wanted to title this part "The Last Closed Door," because where we are now is that you can't define somebody else's sexuality anymore. They're getting to decide this. We joke about this, and so Bruce Jenner decides after some 50 years that he's a woman. Dwayne Wade's son knows definitively that he wants to be a girl. And we at a point now where legally and accepting that you have to call them by what they want to be called by. That's the complicated nature of this last door. that, believe it or not, guys, is being kicked down. So when I was doing the research on this, I can't even begin to scratch the surface. So this, just know, coming to the end here, I'm not coming to the end here with no answers. I'm just throwing all this out here to make you guys understand that Jenny's comments sum it up. People like what they like. And I've had a statement that I've been saying for years now, that, and I used to say it in reference to gay or straight, because those was the only ones that I had classified them as, that either you're gay or you're straight. You know what I'm saying?
Can I
But
say this?
hold on. But I've always said, I have come to believe that, you know what? People like what they like when they like it. And now they're coming out with different terminologies to define when they like something. Go ahead, Candace.
I'll say with the transsexuals, that's something different than sexuality and what they're choosing. I've seen on TikTok myself people that choose to be like a man. I've seen a woman transitioning as a man, but she still prefers men. So sexually, she wants to be with a man, but she herself feels like a man. So to choose your gender is different than what you're choosing sexually. So to say, what Gabrielle Union and the basketball player's
Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade's daughter is choosing to be with me, and we don't know that. We know she's choosing to be a woman, but we don't know what she wants sexually, which is the difference.
Very, very good point. Very, very good point. That even though his son is choosing to identify as one or the other, it hasn't been determined yet what he or she actually is going to be sexually attracted to.
Right.
Yeah, it's too
Well,
much.
you see,
Kenny, say that again. Kenny, say that again.
Yeah, I mean, it's too much. I mean, you know, and going backtracking to dating now, it's like it's too it's like
It's
you
very
don't know what is what and who is who and what you want and what you like and sexuality and all this, man. It's just crazy right now.
it's complex and it's not black and white. So that's
Right.
why I think
That's
it's
why
different now.
that's why I wanted to bring this subject to the forefront, because as I was researching it, I'm learning this stuff. Now at the end, I'm gonna ask everybody a question, so be ready.
oh
But I'm
Lord,
Uh-oh. Oh
but I'm
boy.
learning this stuff, and I'm like, wow, this is kind of blowing my mind, because it's very complicated. It's in depth. Tracy says you are male or female based on what I see. Tracy, that's no longer the case anymore. I know that you feel that way, but the world is changing. Kama says, so she's like a bull dagger that likes men still. Now, Kama, you pulled that term way out your ass there.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
that's an
he
old
went
one.
back. Yeah,
You
that's
went
old
way
school
back. You
right
went way
there.
back with that one, was saying bull dagger. You know, Camille says we out here wilding. Absolutely. Jenny says in this day and time, it's hard to make a connection with. Absolutely, sweetheart. And so, to
I
your
don't think
point,
it's hard.
to your, well, no, I actually agree with Jenny. To your, it is actually very difficult to make a connection with anybody, and so that's why they're asking you to open up your minds to maybe be more inclusive. Think back to where we started this exercise about what I like, and if you've got that list that's pigeonholing you to that, so they're asking you to open up your mind. So let's tackle some of these fears head on that deals with biphobia, and of course we got, you know, trans women and things. So I'm gonna throw some facts out here to you guys as to why are women afraid of dating bisexual men. And
Mm-mm.
these, I found these figures fascinating. 63% of women said they would not date a man who had sex with another man. 63%.
That's right.
64.
37%
Oh no.
of 37% of women, though, said they have had a sexual experience with a woman.
No, not me.
Now, another 63% believe of women believe that sexuality is fluid. It's fluid. We just heard that term, fluid. So somebody explain to me, that if the majority of women actually feel that sexuality is in fact fluid, and 37% of them themselves have had sex with a woman, what's behind the psyche of now most of them saying that they would not date a man who had sex with a man? What is it about that?
Part of it is health reasons. I
Ah,
know a lot of men are very reckless in how they move, and so the it's. I'm not going to use statistics, but there were a lot of men giving HIV to women, based off of how they were moving sexually.
okay.
So for me, and I'll say this younger generation is more open to dating a man that goes both ways. Now I'm from an older generation. No, I don't want a man that's been with another man. Um, and I know my daughter's screaming. I know that there's still heterosexual men out there. I don't know why. I know it's people are sexually fluid, but they're just like me that prefers a man. I know there are other men that prefer a woman. A woman.
Okay.
So no, I don't have to just go with somebody that's been with a man.
Okay. She brought up a very good point, and I want to highlight Jenny's point. She says, now I do have a double standard with gay or bisexual men. So, Jenny, that seems to suggest, though, that you do date women, though, right? I just want to be clear. I just want to make that clear. Jenny says, with a woman, nothing is physically changed. A man on man, I can no longer satisfy you. And a man, okay, she said, and she is not interested in that shit. So going to some numbers here, Candace said that the fear is that the man's going to bring you STDs.
Very
Do
true.
you guys think that a woman sleeping with a man who may be bisexual, that the risk is higher for the chances of STDs? Anybody?
So I'll say this. I don't
I don't
think
think so.
I'll say it with certain things. It's some men that sleep with men who don't feel as though they are bisexual. So they don't want to get tested. They don't want to make it seem as though they like other men. So when they feel as though they don't have to get tested, they bring the risk of bringing that back to you because they know they're bisexual. They know they're sleeping with the man, but because if you top or bottom, some men have this preferences though. Well, I'm not bisexual, I'm not gay, so you going to get a test, which is so foolish because you can get a test heterosexual or homosexual or bisexual. You still should get tested. They feel as though they just shouldn't go get tested because then you have to admit, oh, I might be into men. So then, yes, I feel when that you will bring a bigger risk of bringing that sexual transmitted disease, or as they call it now, sexual transmitted infections. I don't know why it's the same thing. Um, you bring that risk of bringing it back to someone. Like we learned in health class, more women get tested than men, and that's not just heteros. That's not just homosexual. That's just heterosexual. That's just in general.
You highlight a key point there. According to the CDC, actually your risk of getting STD is much greater from so-called heterosexual sex, believe it or not, than if you were dealing with somebody that's bisexual. Because the confusion here and the fear is that if that person says, the moment they say I'm bisexual, the assumption is that they're sleeping with multiple people at all times, and that's just not necessarily the case. And to your point, Hannah, we already know that men have an aversion towards being in any way considered homosexuality, that men are typically more homophobic than women. And so I want to point to an episode that I saw on Law and Order one time. And on the show was a bunch of professional black men that got together every Wednesday night for a poker game.
Oh,
They
I
played.
remember that
I saw
episode.
that one. I think.
Did you see that one? They were playing
Yeah.
I
poker.
remember that
Now,
episode. Yep.
in the episode, this white lawyer ended up getting killed, and when they discovered his body, it looked like that he had been with a prostitute. Well, it ended up coming out in the episode that he had fell in love with one of his friends, during the regular card game, because the card game was just a mask that every Wednesday night these guys got together. I'm talking about it was football players and lawyers and professional men, and they would fuck. And then the question came up, well, why didn't you use condoms? And the answer that he gave was brilliant.
Make it real.
His answer was, if you bring condoms to this party, then you're admitting that you're gay.
What?
Yes, yes. Yes.
I'm looking at your face, Joseph. The psychology here is that as long as I don't see myself as gay, whatever sexual acts I engage in, Bert, you look like you're about to die. But that is the mindset, and believe it or not, it's with that danger that women are choosing partners out here that whole down low syndrome, bi-curious, all of those things come into play because for a lot of men, especially African American men, as long as I don't see myself as gay, then the acts I engage in aren't gay.
Is that not flirting with some serious mental health issues right there?
So
Thank you. I was about
I'm
to say
asking. No, I'm being serious. Is that not
that.
like
Yes.
there's a syndrome for that? I forgot what it's called, but that there's a word for that. There's a term for that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I agree.
Yeah,
That's mental.
well,
you
That makes
raise
no
a good
goddamn
question,
sense.
and I don't have the answer to that. But I
I
know
got.
that I'm sorry, sis. You had a
I
point?
have an answer. She
Okay.
did the answer to that question is just is a whole lot of sick alphabet motherfuckers out here. Stay straight.
Okay. So that's one way to look at it. And then Jenny says that some of them are delusional. So that's for you guys to decide. But I know, according to this study, that for African American women, they're afraid to date bisexual men based on fear of maybe getting a disease. Also, it talks about they fail to understand that identity and behavior are two separate things. And that's what we were talking about. How somebody identifies has absolutely nothing to do with their history or their behavior. If you met me right now, and Tasha at the top of this show, you were one specifically that mentioned that it has to be a straight man.
Yes.
So now, if you met a guy and you asked that question, so are you gay or straight? Now, what if I said, well, I'm straight, but what does that tell you about my sexual history?
Nope. I gotta ask a supplemental question with that.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Have you ever at any point been with a man in any form? I gotta know.
That's where I want you guys to understand, because how somebody identifies really doesn't tell you everything you need to know, because that has absolutely nothing to do with behavior and sexual history. So if you're going to ask the question, ask all of have you ever? Do you like? Have you ever engaged in? Candace, go ahead, sweetheart.
I was gonna say it's some women that feel like a man banging them in the booty is a gay thing,
Okay.
not realizing that because the act is being done with a woman, that does not classify you as gay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. How many men out there, Superhead is famous for her stories of telling about famous people who she's used a dildo on, and they identify as straight. They absolutely identify as straight men.
But it was a fake dick. It's okay. It was a fake dick. I give you. It's all right. I don't get. That's fake. You ain't catching nothing from that. That's a fake dick. You just a little freaky. That's all. That's how I see it.
So for Tasha, that's okay. Now somebody else might say that the moment you start letting something go up in your rectum, you just a hair's throw away from getting the real thing up there. Go ahead, Hannah.
I was about to say that, but what I wanted to say before was I feel like women should ask these questions. I know Bert might got offended when we got together, but I asked that. I said, are you straight? Are you gay? Have you been with a man? Are you curious about a man? And I had to ask that. I mean, I feel as though there's some people you gotta ask you, because there's some people that you have to even ask, have you had a girlfriend or a wife? Because some people feel as though nowadays, if you didn't ask and I omit the truth, I didn't lie to you, I omitted it. So you have to really ask all these questions, because there's people out here with wives and you'll ask them if they had a girlfriend, they'll be like, no, but then you come out with a wife like, well, you ain't asked if I had a wife. Like, you know what I meant. So
That's
I feel like
lie.
you have to ask those questions. And before, it's weird, generations change. before you can ask that question and people will lay it on the table. People not laying anything on the table. They want you to ask that very specific question, which is sad and crazy, but it's just like this next generation. Also, I'm not with you, Tasha. If I have to pull out a strap on, I'm not banging with you. I'm not pulling out no type of penis in the bedroom ever. Now, you know, if you want to use a vibrator or whatever on me, that's cool. But I'm not using anything on you. I'm not eating ass. I'm not putting no penis in your ass. None of that is going down. I just feel like that's just not my preference.
He's
Okay.
just a little freaky. That's all.
Now,
This
now,
is a
now,
little
now,
freaky.
Hannah, once again, you segued into my next question I was going to ask, which Jenny says to be transparent, which is right along the question. Because how many of you feel then, especially in this alphabet of sexuality, if we can call it that, because what about trans women? How many of you feel, based on that level of transparency, should they have to disclose?
Yes.
For their safety, yes.
I think
Honestly,
so.
yes.
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 I think so because you know we I worked in the television market in Tyler, Texas, which is basically 2 hours from Dallas, where I'm at now. And they were
Okay.
and it made national news where a dude was dating a trans woman at Texas College, which is located in Tyler, Texas. And according to him, he ended up murdering this trans woman because he said that she did not or did not disclose that to him, but they were
Right.
in a relationship for a certain length of time. So my thing is, I think if you're a trans woman, I think you definitely need to disclose that to a man or a potential suitor, and then he can decide if that's what he want to rock with or not. You know, but don't hide that fact. Don't fake it. So that's my
I
thoughts on
feel
that.
like I don't mean to cut Kenny off, but I feel like with as far as trans, by not disclosing, you're taking away someone's choice and their own. You're violating them kind of, because you're taking away their choice to decide if they want to be with you or if that's
Right.
something that they want. It's the same
Yeah.
way if it was a trans man, whatever the term is for the man, for the women that that transition over to be a
Hmm.
man. I wouldn't want to be with a woman that transitioned into a man, because I don't want to be with a woman. And in my eyes, I'm always going to see you as a woman, no matter what you do to yourself physically. You're still going to be seen as a woman to me.
And at the bottom line, it's about not being deceiving. Don't deceive your partner, and that's even in heterosexual relationships.
Yeah.
Don't be deceiving that person you with. If you want to deal with other people, let that person know so they can make a choice. That's the same thing with this transsexual stuff. Don't be a deceiver. Let that person make that
Far as the
decision.
transsexual thing go too, I feel like I saw this comedian talk about this years ago, and certain customs probably need to come back. And he said, "Don't nobody finger anymore." And I mean,
Bring it back
back in
finger
the
in
days, that was
2021.
the quick way to tell
Yeah,
somebody.
yeah, I think
People
I heard that.
can't.
Yeah, I heard that.
Maybe customs like that need to be brought to the forefront. Who knows?
Yeah.
It'll point a lot of people out in the beginning from day one. As soon as the interactions start, be like, wait a minute, what's that?
You bring up a good point, but then of course you got on the flip side of that those that have already fully transitioned over, not the Bruce Jenners that have decided, Caitlyn Jenner, excuse me, that is a trans woman but still kept his male parts. So for some of those that have fully transitioned over all the way, now they have the actual parts to match up with their sexual identity. And so for them, their argument is that now I am a real woman and I should not have to disclose because I am a real woman or a
Well,
man or something like
a
that.
real woman.
But you know
Or
what, Black, though? I get what you're saying on that. Like, they want to forget their past, but still, that's your past. That's your history. That's what you was born at first. And if you want me to be transparent, you got to show total transparency with that person as well. There's always somebody out there for somebody. And guess what? You might be with that person. That's not something for them. So you got to let them be. But
I'm actually agreeing with you, my
you
brother.
still are taking advantage of that person that don't know your total history. That's not taking away what you are right now, but that's what you were before. That's part of your past, and that plays a major part in your life. So you can't just sit up there and then deceive somebody and say, oh yeah, I've always been a woman, and here it is, you're a full-blown man. What if this person wants a baby? You know what I'm saying? You got to take that into account too. And that can flip somebody out. Oh, I'm here with this guy that used to, with a woman that used to be a man. I can't have a kid with you. You messing their mind up. And they're going to flip out. They're going to do something terrible to you. So that's a dangerous
and I do think
that's that deception. Exactly.
And I think that's why we see so much violence, particularly towards trans people, because of their belief that they shouldn't have to disclose. Jenny, I want you to clarify yourself in the comments. I don't know if you did or not. You said bullshit. You cannot take away a person's choice. And let's see if you clarified yourself. You say you go to your earlier point. It's hard to connect with human beings. And then, okay, so she was talking about something else because Jenny says that she actually agreed with you, Bert. So fantastic. And you also got Bravo.
I don't think it's hard to connect with human beings. It's hard to connect with deceitful human beings.
Say that
when
again.
When people are deceiving you. No, because you can connect with humans. I mean, that's what we were put here for. So it ain't about connecting with human beings.
I would argue. I hear you, Kenny, but I would argue that I think it is even harder. It's gotten harder for just
I agree with that. No, I agree with it.
But I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
You certainly make it harder if you're going to have deceit, because you're starting out with the foundation of deceit. But from the very onset of this show, when I talk about men being from Mars, women from Venus, we're on different levels, and that's highlighted in these next statistics I'm going to show you. In a 2018 study, it says only 1.8% of straight women would date a trans. 3.3% of straight men would date a trans. So we've already established that women outnumber men significantly. But in this instance, there's a higher number of men that actually would date a trans versus a woman would doing it. It absolutely blew me away. I got another statistic for you. Pornhub. How many of us out here like our good old-fashioned porn?
Man, stop it. I'm trying to leave that stuff alone, brother. Stop.
There's
Don't
other
bring that
sites I
up.
prefer.
Okay, wow.
I'm in rehab. I'm in rehab for that. Stop it, bro. Stop.
Hey, Kenny, I'm with you, my brother. Since I've been celibate for over a year, I had to leave it alone. You know,
I'm in rehab,
but in my time, ain't nothing like some good old porn. Go ahead, Hannah.
I was going to say, prior to my first divorce, I thought porn was like the most trifling thing in the world.
Okay.
And then I went through, after my first marriage, I was just, off of men altogether. And I felt porn. And I was like, oh, this is okay. Like, I was that, I'm not prude. Yeah, I was a prude. I'm not going to lie. So I'm trying to, how do y'all do it without now, you can go through celibacy without porn. Is that better?
That's a whole nother show.
Okay.
That's a whole
the
other
effect porn has on relationships and sex. That's a whole other show.
That's a whole other show.
Trust me, sweetheart, that's a whole other show. But we've all heard of Pornhub, and Pornhub is the United States. No, it's one of the largest sites. The United States, I should say, not Pornhub itself. But this is a study that was done on Pornhub. But the United States is the world's largest consumer of porn.
I believe it.
I actually believe it.
I don't believe it. I definitely believe that.
Facts. This is facts. For us as a so-called Christian nation, believe it or not, we're the world's biggest consumer of pornography. We like our porn. Now here's the part that really blew me away. Now, if you've gone on Pornhub, I mean, you can really dwindle it down to specific nasty shit on there. I mean, they got filters to where you can actually put on there "cum guzzling bitch," and they're gonna bring up videos to show you what you're looking for.
I'm in the wrong category.
No, I am not joking. I am not joking.
I was joking.
If you don't know about porn and especially Pornhub, the filters are there to where you can sit there and think, what do I want to see? You know what I'm saying? Drinking, you can make up the nastiest, filthiest thing that you can think and come to your mind, and it is there. But guess what, folks, is the number one category on Pornhub?
Gay male.
Trans porn is the most popular of all porn.
What the hell is Pornhub?
Like men on men?
I
Gangbang.
Like trans men and
This study is from, this status from when, Lee? From
2018. 2018.
Okay, 2018.
I can agree with that because I found myself going down the rabbit hole of trans women still banging women. So women with things banging women.
It is, believe it or not, there is some overwhelming fascination, even though let me give you the numbers again. 1.8% of straight women who say that they would not date a trans person, and that they would date a trans person, 1.8, and only 3.3% of straight men said that they would date a trans person. But somebody's looking at a hell of a lot of trans porn. So what does that tell you about people?
They freaks at
I can tell you about. I'm not the people. I'm not that people. I can tell you that. It ain't me looking at it.
It ain't curious individuals out here.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can say this for myself. I'm curious. I have no shame in my game. I'm curious. I just want to see. That doesn't mean I want to try. So let's get that clear. I'm just like looking at it.
So I'll say this. I won't tell you the category I look at is not men on men. However, even the category I have looked at, I would never participate in it, but I need to see that. So I feel like maybe that is the reason why.
What you be watching?
For real, we doing this?
You might as well go and tell it. You done put it out there. Might as well go and say it.
We all waiting now. You step into this arena.
Yeah, we all grown.
I watch gangbang.
Interesting.
But I would never be a part of it. I would never want to be a bit. I wouldn't even do a threesome. It's just that I just like, 3-hole gangbang.
3-hole. See how specific she got? Not regular gangbang. You said 3-hole gangbang.
That's what you like to watch.
I watch it, but I would never be a part of it.
Why does everybody feel so embarrassed when they talk about?
No, I'm not embarrassed. I'm just saying. I was saying I see how people can relate.
Baby, you ain't got no reason. You ain't got no reason to be ashamed. I promise you. In my heyday, that was my job to plug up every hole they had. That's a whole other conversation. That's a whole nother conversation right there. But just gonna tell you.
I was just trying to agree with what you were saying.
I'm just saying, you got no reason to be ashamed. You know.
Woo, boy,
you got no reason to be ashamed. I was trying to get to Camille says, Camille, you said I'm looking for you, so spell it out for me again. I hope you were talking about those statistics, but the statistics highlight that even though we're a so-called Christian nation, and only 1.8% of women and 3.3% of men actually will admit that they will date a trans person. But then in the privacy of our homes, when nobody is watching, that is the number one type of porn that's being seen. And so that's what makes, I think, for those individuals in the alphabet spectrum, that's my own term, I'm calling it, because I get tired of saying all the different little letters and whatnot. That's what makes it hard for them. I'm sorry, you had a point?
I was saying, that's what I say.
No. What's your name again, sweetheart? Again, Ada.
Yeah, I had. Okay. My point was, or maybe we could, and I think it's maybe for another show, but I think we should also talk about hypersexuality and how that affects it.
Say that again. Hyper what?
Hypersexuality.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Hypersexuality in their life. And usually it's a residual of childhood trauma or childhood molestation. And I think that should be maybe like another show we should talk about that, because there is hypersexuality. It's a really high level in our community, and it's not talked about. You know, we think like, you know, males are, you know, oh, he's a man, and you're like, no.
Right.
If you really think about it, you know, now that we're all old folk, you're saying,
Yeah.
well, no, there's a pattern there. You know, it's not like, let's say R. Kelly. Let's give a good example.
Yes.
You know, his hypersexuality, I think, was a result of his molestation when he was a child and his rape.
Exactly.
You know,
Yep.
but we don't
Yep.
speak about it because
Yes,
they're
yes.
male issues, right? And then it affects the manhood
Yeah.
of the man, right? Because he's trying to prove his.
Absolutely.
But we're
Absolutely.
not about this. We're not speaking about, you know, why as adults, you know, why. So our generation, right? It was like gay or straight, fine. This generation,
Right.
you know, they want to be so open, but they're label themselves so much. They've put themselves in
Mm.
a box. Now you need a box to define everything. And while our generation was like, no, we don't need boxes. We're trying to get out of the boxes, right?
That's right.
So we need to speak about, you know, what happened in our childhood that affects our adulthood with these sexual patterns that we see, or this, you know, extra curiosity, or, you know, because if a child's exposed to sexual activity in a very young age, it will affect your mind, because your mind is not adapted to sexuality. Your mind can't comprehend that, and that's where all of these sexual patterns start appearing later on in life.
Facts.
Brilliant,
I
brilliant
love
point.
it.
And again, it even
In
shows,
the
that's why I
TikTok.
said at the beginning, we've only tipped the iceberg when you start opening that door about sexuality, because it affects so many other things. Brilliant point. Brilliant point. And I'm open to doing that show. You know, I do a lot of research going into these shows, and I learn so much from it. So I'm definitely willing to do that. Absolutely. Fantastic point. You know, hypersexuality and addiction to sex. So you may have just planted my next show, you
Yeah,
know, to come back in there.
women as well. Women, you know, then they're, oh, she's promiscuous, she's a hoe, oh, she's just this, she just likes shaking her ass. You don't know what she's been through when she was a child. You don't know if she was a little
Very,
girl
Yeah,
who was
very good point.
Hmm.
that's true.
Yeah.
Very
acting like
I
a
Yep.
love it.
Can't rule that out.
exposed up.
Yep.
Talk about it.
absolutely, absolutely, and that's the only way we can get to some honest answers, which brings us to taking an honest assessment after we've just covered a lot of information. Did you guys know that this coming September 23rd, it is Bisexual Visibility Day?
I'm
What?
sorry, what?
Right.
September 23rd
Oh my,
is Bisexual Visibility Day.
what is
Now,
that?
I didn't know this.
What the hell is
This
that?
has been celebrated for 20 years. This is not
Really?
Mm.
new.
What?
I never knew that.
This is
I've
my
never
research. This is not new. They've been celebrating this for 20 years.
Wow.
20 years. That on September 23rd is Bisexual Visibility Day. So, in terms of an honest assessment, the rules of dating have been redefined throughout the years. There has to be a balance between seeking transparency from a potential partner without the fear of being labeled as hateful or ignorant. I'm going to repeat that. The rules of dating have been redefined throughout the years, as Aiden just properly talked about, but there has to be a balance between seeking transparency from a potential partner without the fear of being labeled as hateful or ignorant. So remember at the beginning of this, we did an exercise, and I asked you guys to describe what you were attracted to.
Oh, I missed that.
You missed that part.
Got her.
So I'm gonna go around again, and I'm just curious. That's this last taking an honest assessment based on we've been talking about this for close to 2 hours. So I'm not calling out any names. You can go in whatever order you would like to, based on what we talked about now in terms of what we've been hopefully a little bit educated on in terms of how we understand sexuality, how they like to be perceived, some of our own internalized phobias and biases. How would you now describe what you're looking for in terms of a potential partner? Anybody, how would you describe it?
I'll go because I didn't go the first time.
Okay.
Um, I'm looking at this point. I when I first started dating young stupid me, I had a preference. Like it had to be a certain height, certain complexion, certain build, certain every. I didn't care about money. I've never been the type to care about money because I always wanted to make my own.
Okay.
So I've never been into nobody's
Okay.
pocket.
Before let me.
But
I want you to focus on
I'm
the
saying now, me,
right.
I need honesty, basically respect. Someone who's going to treat me a certain way and not be disrespectful to me. I think my preference now is more than looks, more than anything, is loyalty, commitment, and honesty. And before, I didn't think that it was important, but I don't really care at this point what you look like. I mean, I'm happy I got this, but I just care about those things more than anything.
Okay. Now she missed the first part, but I love what she said, and but she probably don't know why. So
I mean,
somebody else, she missed the
I didn't get,
beginning.
I didn't get to go.
She
So
okay. Go ahead.
I'm attracted to a heterosexual masculine man. Even though I am all about women's rights, I still want a man to tell me what to do. That can
yes.
handle my personality. So it doesn't matter what he looks like. Right now, I prefer black men. I'm married to a black man. So that's what I'm interested in. Oh, and someone that values family and traditional gender roles.
Okay. Okay.
I'll go.
Go
I
ahead,
didn't go.
Tasha.
For me, at this time, after this whole conversation, I'm even more going to define what I like. And I don't want anyone to challenge me on it because if you're allowed to label whatever you want and whatever you define yourself as, do not attack me for doing the same. You have your reasons, your own internalized phobias and preferences. Don't get mad when mine is the same. It's just different from yours. I'm not going to treat you any different. Don't treat me any different for liking what I like.
Well said.
I
Well
like
said.
that. You better say
Well said.
that.
Sherry, come on.
Well, after this show, listen. I'm attracted to a man that never ever been with another man.
Okay.
For one, I gotta know that, and personality, and you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, clean cut man and all that. That's all, you know what I'm saying. And no, I'm not attracted to no other race of like white people or Spanish and none of that. I gotta have a black man. I need a brother,
Okay. Okay.
and that's my attraction.
Okay. Kenny.
Well, you can rewind this show and just pretty much say what I
It's
said at the
like I ain't
beginning.
changed.
I still ain't nothing changed. My preference is between 5'4" and 5'9", about 140 to 175. She could
Ooh,
be
I love it.
a black woman. She light skinned, dark skinned, honey. 31 flavors.
I love you, Kenny. I love you,
And my
Kenny.
homie lover friend. This conversation is dope, but my preference has
I
not
love you,
changed.
Kenny. I love you,
Thank
Kenny.
It's
you
like I ain't
and good
changed
night.
shit.
I'm here all week.
I love you, Kenny. Joseph and Ada, what y'all say?
I didn't go the first time, so I would say I like a humble man. I like a hardworking man. So I like a man that works with his hands. I can't have like a guy who's like an office guy. Uh, uh,
Okay.
I need an alpha male, heterosexual. Yeah, just like the women said, I'm a strong woman and I have strong opinions and I need someone to challenge me intellectually. So he has the humor because I like to have a good time, and he has to challenge me intellectually because if not, I get bored very easily.
Okay.
Yes.
Joseph, what you say? What's attractive for you?
All I gotta say is thank God I'm out the dating game and don't have to look with all these.
Seriously.
Yes, y'all hold
Yes,
on
good
to
for
I
this
ain't
you.
mad at
spot.
you, my brother.
Good for
I
you.
ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you, my brother. I'll
For
tip my
real.
hat. Yes,
But
sir.
I mean, we still, regardless of whatever box people put themselves in, we all gonna have preferences and we're all gonna have standards. So regardless of a person may try to sound like however they want to sound, we're all gonna have preference and we're all gonna have standards, and that's just how it's gonna be as long as humans are around.
Beautiful.
Facts.
Bert, bring us home, my brother. I know you missed the beginning, but so for you came in, a good part of this. What is it that attracts you to someone?
Basically, I'll just keep it. I keep it simple and sweet. Um, and everybody made good points, and I agree with them all. Just, just support me. Let me be who I am. I'm ever evolving. I'm gonna let you be who you are, and let's just grow together. Let's keep the communication lines open,
Right.
and that's just it. You know what I mean? Your looks and everything, that's just the icing on the cake.
Right.
But below that surface, as long as you challenge me, as long as you give me the hard truth, even when I don't want to hear that shit, give it
That's
to
right.
me because I need to hear that. You know, there's a scripture that says, faithful are the wounds of a friend. And that means that guess what? A friend is going to tell you the truth, and that shit going to hurt, but they mean well. That's all I
Absolutely.
got for you.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Well said. Well said. I'll close out by agreeing with all of the points you guys made. And I called this last part an honest assessment because now that we've kind of opened that door and we've stripped away some of the veils of all of the different types of sexuality out there, I maintain that I do think people like what they like when they like it. And I love that last statement where it talks about finding a balance. So when you're looking for a potential partner, that seeking the transparency without fear of being labeled as harmful or ignorant. Right now in the dating scene, we are being told that we have to like what you like.
Yep.
What?
You know what I'm saying? That's where we're at right now. That if you say that I like a woman that's 5'4" to 5'7", you're wrong.
Yep.
That if you only
Mhm.
want to that you don't want the person to be a heterosexual, you're wrong.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That I'm not attracted to a trans person. Well, you're wrong.
You're phobic.
Mhm.
That you're
Everything
What?
is offensive.
that you're phobic and all these things are seeping into it. So I hope that for me doing this show, that anybody that's listening to hopefully how I've tried to cover it, I love that when we got to the end, you guys stayed true to your core beliefs of what you like, what you find attractive. You know, you inculcated in there all of those characteristics that go beyond the biases. So
Mhm.
whether it's short, tall, no teeth, missing teeth, fat, whatever, you know, at the end of the day, you
Not
know,
messy.
you guys did highlight the most important things about just trying to find somebody that's going in the same direction as you, that you have some things in common with, that you can build with. And with if that's the case, then you have every right, as Tasha said, to feel how you feel and be attracted to what you want to be attracted to. And the reality is, if you don't mess with my preferences, I won't mess with yours.
Mhm.
And I'll leave it at that.
I like it.
I
Yep.
love
I
it.
like it.
You know.
Awesome.
So, guys, once again, fantastic show. I appreciate you guys. This was a tough one for me, I gotta say. Um,
Didn't seem like it.
yeah, this well, thank you. Well, thank you then. You
Just
know,
going through it.
Now,
I
Right,
Hunter, back
right,
appreciate.
to this
right.
three-hole gangbang. I want to
I,
get back
I,
on that
see,
now.
see now,
Oh man.
and I'm not touching that, and I'm not touching that. You know what I'm saying, baby? Enjoy your porn for what it's worth. I would say I ain't touching that.
No, I don't need it now. Help me at this
You know,
time.
Yeah,
hey, that's what
man.
I said. We got our likes, but to Ada's point, I am going to definitely bring another show to the forefront. This is
Mhm.
one of those subjects to where, oh my God, we could eat off this for a while because
Yeah.
it does get so deep. And to your point, when you start peeling back the layers of why people behave the way they do, what has driven them, whether it's nature or nurture, and the things that have happened to us in our past and how it shapes us into the things that we do, at its core, a lot of it is things that have defined our sexuality, you
Mhm.
know, and
Facts.
we're seeing it play out every day on TikTok videos and all kinds of things. And so I'm glad to have being able to tackle this subject. It was a tough one for me, but I did some research. I learned quite a bit. And again, in case if you guys want me to post that article, 46 46
Yeah.
iterations of sexuality just absolutely blew my
I think
mind. And
that's
as I read through
Yeah.
some of them,
I'm so lost.
it's some of it's confusing, but what it really said to me was how people now in this day, as Ada said, they don't want to be put in a box. And if they do, everybody wants their own lane. I
Labels.
should say it
Right.
that way.
Mhm.
I should say it that
Yeah,
way. You
Yeah.
know.
yeah.
Wife, his wife.
I have
So
one question, brother.
go ahead, sis.
I want to know because y'all all seem to be know what it is. What the heck is Pornhub or whatever? It's porn.
Pornhub,
Yeah.
Pornhub.
that's one of the largest porn sites in the world, sis.
You good, Sherry? You don't want to work. You don't want to mess with
I
that.
Well,
prefer
You don't want to mess
XNXX
with
my
it.
damn self. It's just as
Pornhub.
good, just as many filters. You can really get into some
Pornhub.
shit. So
That's one of my favorites as well. But
Bang
Pornhub.
Bros.
Yeah.
but I had
Yes.
but like Kenny said, I literally had to
It's
You
turn
okay.
it
don't want
off.
to mess.
Something online. I was
Sherry,
asking.
you
I
don't want to
I,
mess with that.
I literally had to turn it off though. I will say this, and
Yeah.
this goes to our next conversation about that. Porn is not real.
No.
It has some
Nope.
damaging effects
Yep.
on
Yep.
I was asking
relationships,
her.
individually and even
Hmm.
within a relationship. So I would advise
I
anybody be careful because it can bring up false sense of expectations, and there's a whole lot of host of other things. And
Well,
that's not
that's
me saying I'm against porn,
so.
right.
but
That's
I
a
would
whole
say
nother show too.
there you go. But in moderation, just
I
be
didn't know that.
careful. Like we're thinking, look, if you're using it as a nice aid, that's okay. The same way you bring a little whipped cream and strawberries to the bed, a little porn ain't gonna hurt you. You can do that. But watch how you use it. It can be dangerous in the wrong hands. I will say
Yeah,
that.
just clear your browser history after you go to all them sites. Clear
yeah,
your browser history.
incognito mode is where it's at. Yes.
There you go. Folks, another great addition. Please continue to tell people to
The
watch,
browser
tune
history.
in
Yeah.
to the shows, share with family, friends, go back and share this show. Even after you've watched it, I will ask each of you if it's just one person, share this show with somebody.
Mhm.
Please,
Yeah.
if it's just one person, call an
Most
old
definitely.
friend, an old associate, and say, hey, I'm going to send you a link. Watch this show. I think it's educational. I think it opens up our minds. And at the end of the day, I do think it makes us better people and to understand one another. So
Yes, sir.
another great show. I loved it. Thank you guys for being a part of it, spending another Wednesday evening with me. Tune in tomorrow where we are going to be talking about hygiene.
I'm watching it because I'm big on hygiene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about hygiene tomorrow. Me and Tasha gonna have a fascinating conversation, and we've got a few eye-opening things to share with you about hygiene. So I hope to see you guys there. Everybody have a great evening. Thank you once again. It's been another great edition of Real Talk.